Most kids aren't reading, they're guessing. Orthographic mapping is how the brain stores words so they're read instantly, not sounded out every single time. But how do we teach that in a busy classroom? Here's one simple mapping activity you can do tomorrow, and with just a marker and a whiteboard. Plus, I'm gonna give you 2 easy variations to keep it fresh. I'm Rebecca, a literacy specialist with over 15 years of experience, and I've spent thousands of hours teaching kids to read using science of reading methods. Mapping isn't something you can teach directly. It's a mental process that's happening in your student's brain when letters finally stick to sounds. What you can do is create the conditions that trigger mapping to happen. And that's what these 3 activities do. They're low prep, they work with any phonics scope and sequence, and I use them every single week. The first activity is the classic. You tap it, map it, and write it. And this is your foundation for any orthographic mapping lesson. Let's use the word ship. Step 1, say the word, and then have your students repeat the word. Ship, ship. Step 2, tap out the sounds using your fingers. So how many sounds do you hear? There are 3 sounds. Sh, I, p. And you're gonna tap once for each sound. Step 3, you're gonna map the graphemes. So you're gonna draw 3 boxes on your whiteboard. There's 1 for each sound. What letters spell sh, sh in the first box? What letter spells I in the second box? What letter spells p in the third box? Step 4 is to write the whole word. So now they would write ship as a complete word underneath the boxes. This is orthographic mapping in action. You're forcing their brain to connect sounds to letters in the exact order they appear. And when you do this with decodable words they've been taught, that's when the magic happens. The word gets stored in long-term memory. You can use this for any word at any level. CVC words, blends, digraphs, vowel teams, it works for all of it. Now, that's the foundation, but you want to keep kids engaged and really accelerate their mapping. This next activity is a game changer. This one's called word chains, or some people call it switch it. And this is my favorite orthographic mapping activity because it keeps kids on their toes. You start with a simple word, and we're starting with cat. First they would tap it, k, a, t. Then they would map it, k, a, t. And then they would write it, cat. Now here's the twist. You can say, can you change the k to a b? What's the new word? They would erase the C, add a B, and then sound out bat. Then you can say, can you change the a sound to I? They would erase the a and add in the letter that makes the sound I. And now they're left with bit. Then you can ask them to change the t sound to the sound g. They would erase the t and add in the letter that makes the sound g. And now they have the word big. See what's happening? They're not just writing words, they're isolating and manipulating individual phonemes. That's advanced phonemic awareness combined with orthographic mapping. This forces their brain to pay attention to the specific letters that change, which strengthens the connection between sounds and spelling. And kids love it because it feels like a puzzle. Now, both of those activities work great for regular words, but what about those tricky high-frequency words, the ones that don't follow the rules? This is where heart word mapping comes in. So let me show you with the word said. Most of said is regular. The S makes the sound S and the D makes the sound D. But the middle part, is irregular. And that's the heart part because you just have to learn it by heart. Draw the sound boxes just like before. There are 3 sounds in the word said. S, D. Now map the letters. S goes in the first box, D goes in the last box. In the middle box, put AI, because it's one sound together, and you're gonna draw a heart around this box. That's your signal. This part doesn't follow the regular pattern. Then you can have them write the whole word again and underline or put a heart around the irregular part. What you're doing here is teaching them that even irregular words are mostly regular. Said isn't some random shape to memorize. It's got regular parts and one tricky part. When they map it this way, they're still connecting sounds to letters. They're just flagging the part that breaks the rule. This also works for was, of, could, any high frequency word with a regular spelling. All right, that's it. 3 simple orthographic mapping activities. Tap it, map it, write it for your foundation, word chains to level up their phonemic awareness, and heart word mapping for those tricky high-frequency words. No expensive curriculum, no complicated materials, just a whiteboard and a marker. And if you want more science of reading strategies like this, hit subscribe and check out my teaching reading step-by-step playlist in the end screen. It'll show you exactly how to structure your daily lessons so you're teaching phonics the right way. Now go teach orthographic mapping the right way. I'll see you in the next one.